Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Star Trek Insurrection by Jonathan Frakes, starring Sir Patrick Stewart and the rest of the Next Generation crew. It's been a couple of weeks since we've reviewed Star Trek Contact, and I have to admit, that was a great movie, probably among the best three I've seen so far, at least when it comes to the movies. The Borgs, they were awesome, and I loved how Captain Picard and the rest of the crew had to deal with them. I love their whole assimilation thing. I love the fact that they were intimidating without being overbearing, if that makes any sense. The dynamic of the entire crew was also great. Even though I didn't watch the series that this was based on, I did a lot of reading, and that really helped provide context to the story, so that's great. I have zero ideas what to expect from this movie, Insurrection. I'm going in completely blind, but I have been told that this film might not be as good as Contact, but nonetheless, I'm very excited to review it. After all, we only have we only have one movie left in this entire series. I think it's called Nemesis. If you guys are unaware, I'm making my way through the entire Star Trek movie catalog. I've been doing it for the past couple of months, and it's been great. Please check them out when you have the time. I'll leave a link up there to the playlist somewhere. Also, please subscribe if you don't want to miss out on the next movie and future uploads. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this movie and over 260 movies, 2 TV shows, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along, and the links in the description below. Please consider a Patreon. Please subscribe to the channel, click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video, feel free to dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Star Trek Insurrection, Frakes, Stewart. Let's go. I'm always excited to review a Star Trek film. Some of them have been so good. The original Star Trek films, especially the first 6, are something else. Star Trek Insurrection. I do miss Kirk and Spock and Bones and the rest of the team. Wow, where are we? And it doesn't look like they're very technologically advanced, right? Is this Earth in the past or some other civilization? Oh, F. Murray Abraham. Holy crap. I did not know that. If you guys haven't watched my Amadeus review, it was a once-in-a-lifetime film. It was an amazing movie about Mozart and his life. And the music is by Jerry Goldsmith. Alright. Yeah, judging by their costumes, I don't know, man. Seems like they're from the Middle Ages. Jonathan Frakes is back at the director's chair, which is good news because Contact was great. Is this the Federation? No. That's an alien. It looks like this civilization is being watched by... Nope, that's Federation. They're being watched by the Federation for some reason. Are they invisible? They must have some sort of cloaking device, whoever it is.
He's trying to remove the headpiece.
All field units, intercept the android.
Yeah, I think it's part of the Prime Directive not to interfere with emerging civilizations. I think that's what's going on here. It is Data. These people must be freaked out because they think it's a ghost. It's just a floating head.
Stop him, now!
I think Data might be malfunctioning. He's revealing the Federation's location. They're exposed. This this medieval civilization can see them. So I can see 2 scenarios. 1, Data is definitely malfunctioning, or 2, the Federation is doing something bad.
Are they vegetarian? That's not in there.
Perhaps we should have the chef whip up a light balsamic vinaigrette.
Man, Picard is so refined.
Can anyone remember when we used to be explorers?
Did he just talk to the camera? Was that breaking the fourth wall?
Sheen Chafor, Regent Cusar, welcome aboard the Enterprise.
Captain Picard. We are so honored to be accepted within the Great Federation family.
Who are these people? As in, what are they called?
Well, Data should have been back by now. They were only scheduled to observe the Baku village for 1 week. Well, the Enterprise could be at your position in 2 days, Admiral.
That's probably not a good idea. Your ship hasn't been fitted for this region. Just get me Data's schematics. I'll keep you informed. Dougherty.
Yeah,
out.
no. When Data's in trouble, he's gonna go there personally.
His emotion chip?
He didn't take it with him.
Yeah, the visual effects have definitely improved compared to like 10 years ago in this world.
You continue to deny yourself every benefit this mission has to offer.
I prefer to wait until we can share the benefits with all the people of the Federation.
So the Federation, they're working with this race of people. It's Data again. What is happening?
Yep.
Mr. Worf, our job is to come up with a plan to safely capture Data.
It will shut him down.
Okay, they've got a deactivation device.
Good to have you back, Mr. Worf.
You haven't done that in a long time.
What?
What you're doing to my neck.
Commander Data attacked us in the mission scout ship yesterday. Rolfo and I have decided to send in an assault team.
If our first attempt to capture Data fails, I will terminate him.
Dougherty out.
Yeah, Dougherty and that other dude, they seem very reluctant in letting Picard try to capture Data. And this is like complete CGI, right? This scene?
Data, this is Captain Picard. Data, please respond.
I don't think he even recognizes them.
We use the anesthetic boundary to shake him.
I'm sure I understood all of that.
Data was rehearsing a production of HMS Pinafore just before he left.
A British tar is a soaring soul, and his fist be ever ready for a knockdown blow.
Loves baritone.
His nose should pant and his lips should...
Not only does he remember, I think he's distracted. Yeah, the CGI is not really that bad, honestly. That was close. He's shut off for now.
Would you like something to eat?
No, we're here to rescue them.
But I would ask you to disarm yourselves.
That's fair.
Prepare the hostages for transport to the ship.
Are you our enemy?
Anish.
My people have a strict policy of non-interference in other cultures. It's our prime
There you go.
directive.
Your directive apparently doesn't include spying on other cultures.
Our technological abilities are not apparent because we have chosen not to employ them in our daily lives.
Oh, they choose to live simply.
You have warp capability.
Capability, yes. But where can warp drive take us, except away from here?
They were an advanced civilization who let go of their technology to lead a peaceful existence. Was there a hint of spark there?
Now pack your bags and get the hell out of there.
Again, trying to get him out of here.
You're not finished here?
Just a few loose ends to tie up.
Yuck!
Yuck!
I never kissed you with a beard before.
I kiss you and you say yuck?
Captain,
You're on the Enterprise, Data.
I seem to be missing several memory engrams. There they are.
He still has a sense of humor.
I was in an isolation suit gathering physiometric data on the Baku. My last memory is going into the hills following some children.
Look at that little thing.
Bridge to Riker.
Dude, they're getting close. At first, I thought Duarte, he was being tricked by the Sona, but I think they're working together now.
Can he breathe underwater?
Data doesn't breathe.
I like how Data is so naturally curious. Whoa. Is that a cloaked ship or a platform?
The vessel is clearly Federation in origin, Captain.
It is Federation, and it is a vessel. The CGI here is not bad at all for the time, 98. And look at the background. Wow, I wonder where they shot this. What is happening?
It is a holographic projection.
Oh, it's like a holodeck.
What you're seeing is a computer-driven image.
I know what a hologram is, Captain. Why would anyone want to create one of our village?
You go to sleep one night in the village, wake up the next morning on this flying holodeck. Within a few days, you're relocated on a similar planet.
Why though?
Without ever realizing it. I don't know.
Is there a resource on the planet they're after? That's the only thing I can think of, right? But Picard will have to confront the Admiral now, right? These little touches really help the chemistry build up. Never pictured Picard to be a mambo person. I always associated him with classical music and Shakespeare and stuff. And Moby Dick.
We came here from a solar system on the verge of self-annihilation. A small group of us set off to find a new home. That was 309 years ago.
And you haven't aged a day since then.
Actually, I was a good deal older when we arrived, in terms of my physical condition.
They've unlocked immortality?
There's an unusual metaphasic radiation coming from the planet's rings. You must have noticed the effects by now.
That's what they're after. This planet stops aging or even reverses it.
To most offlanders, what you have here is more valuable than gold-pressed land.
That's what this is all about.
If it were not for data, it's probable that you would be relocated.
So the Federation is in on it, and they're working with the Sona.
Have you ever experienced a perfect moment in time?
A perfect moment?
When time seemed to stop?
Seeing my home planet from space for the first time.
Wow, what a moment.
Yes.
I thought I couldn't relate to that statement, but on some level I can. Oh. I thought she was giving the signal for him to come in, but apparently not.
Geordie.
Captain.
Oh, Geordie has normal eyes. The planet is slowly fixing him, I think.
When Dr. Crusher removed the ocular connection, she found that the cells around my optic nerve had
started to regenerate.
It may not last. You know, I've never seen a sunrise.
Oh, what a wonderful moment for the character.
Not the way you see them.
I think this film deals a lot with finding the beauty in simplicity and finding the beauty of nature and not over-relying on technology.
We found the hollow ship.
Rawful, why don't you let the captain and me...
No! Dude, I just recognized that this is F. Murray Abraham. What an idiot.
This
I didn't
entire
even notice.
mission has been one Federation blunder after another.
How can there be an order to abandon the Prime Directive?
People are not indigenous to this planet. They were never meant to be immortal.
It's a technicality.
We'll be able to use the regenerative properties of this radiation to help billions. We have the planet, they have the technology. A technology we can't duplicate.
Delay the procedure. Let my people look at the technology.
Our best scientific minds already have.
We are betraying the principles upon which the Federation was founded.
I agree.
It's an attack upon its very soul.
We're only moving 600 people.
How many people does it take, Admiral, before it becomes wrong?
I'm ordering you to the Goran system.
Well, Picard is now backed into a corner. He's been ordered to leave and release the Sona prisoners, which he clearly will not do. Oh, man. And I wanted to comment on the makeup work and the prosthetics on F. Murray Abraham's face. I really did not recognize him for the first 40 minutes.
Return to your quarters.
Not without his team.
No uniform, no orders.
The mountains have the heaviest concentration of Kelvinites. Once there, it'll make transport virtually impossible.
They're not going to make it easy for us to get there.
Captain!
The Sona are here. Oh man, they got some of them. I mean, I'm sure the Federation isn't directly doing this, and I think the Admiral Duarte, he's gone rogue.
Take me down, let me talk to Picard.
Talk. We should send down an assault team and take them by force.
That is not an acceptable option.
Well, how badly do you want it, Admiral? Because there are hard choices to be made now. I could send them to escort it back.
Escort it back. Yeah, okay. Are you going to authorize an attack on your own ship?
Send your ships.
Oh, what an idiot.
Can't imagine what it's like to be a machine.
Perhaps it would surprise you to know that I have often tried to imagine what it is like to be a child.
But you've never had adults telling you what to do all the time, or
Wow, I really like the
bedtimes, or
explanation of
having to eat food you don't
Data's humanity.
I would gladly accept the requirement of a bedtime in exchange for knowing what it is like to be a child.
If you want to know what it's like to be a child, you need to learn to play.
I wonder whether his emotion chip is installed, or has it been left behind?
It's been 300 years since I've seen a bald man.
How is it that you never married?
What's the rush?
I should warn you, I've always been attracted to older women.
What is she doing though? So far, I've really been enjoying this film, especially from the second act forward. The first act was a little confusing when it came to the writing. I've also been enjoying the music from Jerry Goldsmith.
Detonating the warp core might neutralize the cascade, then again, it might not.
I mean, if they destroyed the warp core, how are they expected to travel long distances now? Oh, okay. They've successfully reached the cave.
I intend to shove it down the Sona's throat.
Commander, if one of their weapons hits that gas!
It's our only way out of here, Mr. Daniels.
Riker is a very capable captain himself. Oh, it worked! I don't know exactly what happened, but it worked.
His DNA profile.
How can that be possible?
What's up with the DNA profile?
Stay with me. Don't let go of this moment.
Ah, the moment they spoke about earlier, where time stops. That was a good shot of the crew members, one by one, and their reaction faces. They got both of them.
The Enterprise has destroyed one of my ships.
The Enterprise would only fire to defend itself.
Correct.
Ruafo must have ordered the attack. I can't believe he would have given that order without your consent, Admiral.
Now the Admiral is cornered.
I wonder which of us will be facing that court-martial.
He's losing his patience.
You would kill your own people, Ruafo? Your own parents?
The DNA thing.
The Sona and the Baku are the same race.
Same race.
A century ago, a group of our young people wanted to follow the ways of the Offlanders. They tried to take over the colony, and when they failed...
When we failed, you exiled us to die slowly.
You're routine, aren't you?
You've brought the Federation into the middle of a blood feud, Admiral.
It was for the Federation.
Sure.
It was all for the Federation.
It was not for glory at all.
It is over.
Duarte is not gonna get court-martialed.
Moving them is one thing, killing them all.
No one hated them more than you, Golda.
Based on how Jonathan Frakes is framing this dude, the first officer, I feel like he'll betray them. Yeah, the CGI is pretty good for the time. But you can it's very noticeable that they've moved away from using miniatures. The interior sets are all practical though.
Coward without the moral courage to prevent an atrocity. You offend me.
Is this how a Federation officer pleads for his life?
He's not pleading.
I'm not pleading for my life. I'm pleading for yours.
Because if he goes through with it, the Federation will come after them. Yes.
Computer, close turbolift doors.
You know how to disable the injector?
But I would need to be on the bridge.
If he doesn't realize something's happening.
Exactly as the simulations predicted.
So it's begun already? Oh man, that was a genius move from Picard. They've been transported into the holodeck. Just like they plan to do to the Baku. They used their own trick against them. Wow, I did not see that coming.
We were transported to the hollow ship when we reset our shields.
Injector Assembly 1 has been deactivated.
There's a problem aboard the collector. The launch sequence has resumed.
How?
Collector shields have been raised. Someone's on board.
Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
We're about to have a face-off.
Stop! You're really going to risk igniting the exhaust? All right. I will!
So it's about to self-destruct. It's too late now.
think when we get away from this metaphasic radiation, it'll change the way we feel?
Your feelings about her have not changed since the day I met you, Commander. This place just let them out for a little fresh air.
They have to come together, though.
What am I going to do without you?
Well, you could always come with.
I wish I could stay. But I have 318 days of shore leave coming, and I intend to use them.
Hey, Data's learning to play.
You have to have a little fun every day.
Good advice.
I think this romantic subplot worked for the most part. Alright, we've watched 9 Star Trek films together, guys. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was a good movie. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was definitely entertaining. But we have 1 film left to go, guys. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a very entertaining installment in this iconic franchise. I wouldn't say it ranks among the top 3, but it's far from the worst, or far from being bad. What surprised me most was the consistency in the directing from Jonathan Frakes. He did a great job with the script he had to work with. I did think the script did have some issues in the first act, though. There were too many names and races to remember in the first 30 minutes. I did have a hard time in following the first act, but once I got used to the players and the story, it kind of flowed more smoothly from that point on. The other strengths of the movie included the performances, the chemistry of the crew, and from a production standpoint, I thought the interior sets were great, the exterior sets, they were commendable, the prosthetic work, it was excellent, especially on F. Murray Abraham's character, and the CGI and the visual effects, they were more of a hit than a miss. And finally, the score from Jerry Goldsmith was also quite memorable. Let's start with the directing by Jonathan Frakes and the script by Michael Piller. Like I just mentioned, the only weakness I had with the script was in the first act. Even though I could follow what was going on visually, I did have a difficult time in following so many name drops in the first 30 or 40 minutes. It took me quite a while in remembering the Baku, the Sona, and their unique characters, cultures, and customs. Of course, they were shown to be the same race in the final act, but I thought the writers did a good job in misdirecting the audience when it came to this. I really did not expect them to be the same race by the end. Another thing that surprised me was in the final act, it was the holodeck reveal and how the Sona were beamed onto it without them realizing it. That was so awesome. I thought that was probably the best reveal of the entire movie. The actual story here was also pretty good. And although I thought it wasn't as deep as First Contact, it was more than serviceable. It did feel like a straightforward movie, straightforward mission, or let's say a straightforward story here. I also liked that the first officer Riker had more agency in this movie. He was in command of the Enterprise for a long time, and he was making the right decisions, difficult decisions for lack of a better term. Ultimately, I thought the script focused mostly on the character development of Data, Geordi, and Picard. Geordi got to see through his real eyes for the first time, getting to appreciate the little things in life like the sunset. Data, just like the previous films, got more in touch with his humanity, even though I believe he wasn't using his emotion chip. I love the fact that he got curious about childhood, and he said that he'd give up a lot just to experience growing up. Picard had a small romantic subplot which kind of worked, and I thought it helped ground his character a little bit here. All in all, for a 95-minute movie, they did a good job with the crew and their chemistry. I love F. Murray Abraham, and I honestly did not recognize him for a long time. Even after seeing his name in the intro, I thought his acting was very good, but on the other hand, I would have liked to see a couple of more scenes with him. I wish the writers and director would have given the character a little more depth, as by the end of the movie, he was pretty one-dimensional. He was like revenge over everything. The character started off fairly complex, but by the end turned out to be pretty simple and very singularly driven, if that makes any sense. Again, not a huge complaint or anything. It was fine for a 95-minute movie. I had no issues with the rest of the performances too. I thought they were all fairly good. I don't think there were any weak links, is what I'm trying to say. Moving on to the production end, it was immediately noticeable that the filmmakers were not using too many miniatures for the ships here. The good news is that the CGI was improved compared to the previous installments. I don't think they aged particularly well though, but they were okay for the most part. The actual practical sets, they were fantastic and really felt like a part of this universe. The Sona race and their exterior set, that felt huge and fairly unique. At first glance, I mistook them for human, but within a minute, I could tell that they were a completely different race. So good job there. I also thought the prosthetic work was amazing in this movie, especially on F. Murray Abraham. So that's commendable. I don't think I have any big praise or criticism in regards to the cinematography and camera work. Some of the landscape shots with so many extras, they stood out to me, but it was nothing spectacular. Finally, the music from Jerry Goldsmith was also very good. It wasn't his best work when it came to Star Trek, but I have to admit that the score was quite memorable regardless. As I've talked about my criticisms already, overall, Star Trek Insurrection was a very entertaining but middle-of-the-pack Star Trek film. The strengths included the actual story and history of these two races and how it was explored by the filmmakers. The directing from Jonathan Frakes was great, and so were the performances, particularly from Sir Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, and F. Murray Abraham. The production end was also mostly very good with beautifully made sets. I guess decent CGI, which looked good for the time but didn't age well. But apart from the slightly confusing first act, I would very much recommend this film, especially if you're a Star Trek fan. This is not a standalone movie, so I'd be a little more cautious if I were just a casual viewer. So, yeah. I can't wait for the next movie, guys. The last movie, guys. Nemesis. Thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Considering a Patreon, please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video. Feel free to dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.